Hello, molweni, ndiyabulisa emakhaya. In today's video, I'll be walking around visually demonstrating everything to you, whilst also trying to identify plants that we see. And over here, we have a tropical soda apple. This plant is native to Brazil, Argentina, as well as tropical regions within the African continent. But in many places in South Africa, it is considered invasive, and it has quite thorny leaves as well, as you can see. It's called the tropical soda apple. Okay, let us continue walking to see what else we can find. Masiqhubeke ke bethunana sihamba sibone uba yeyiphi enye into esiza kuyibhaqa sithethe ngayo. Walk, walk, walk. Quick, quick, quick. And over here we have this plant. Honestly speaking, I do not know how to pronounce its name, and I'm seeing a couple of bees on top of that flower. I was about to touch it and was like, oops, there are bees over there. Inyusi as a bee, and then there's still one bee over there. Please don't sting me, I beg of you. And inyusi ziyaluma ke ziyatsweba. And I'll just put the name of this tree somewhere here, and then masiqhubekeke wethu sihamba sibone enye into esiza kuyibhaqa kwakhona sithethe ngayo. Andazi uba ndizawuthetha ndithini. Nithe nifuna ii-DVD ezenzelwa phandle, ndenza loo nto niyifunayo ke. Masihambeni bethinana sizule ilali, sihambeni. Let us continue walking as I just talk about random things that I see along the way. What else can we find? Is there a plant that we can see? Over here we have what we call Banga. Banga. This plant is called Banga. It serves multiple purposes. Water is such a scarce resource, and then towards the end of winter we usually burn our grass, and then to prevent fire from spreading out, you would usually break the branches of Banga and just slap it on the ground to prevent it from spreading the fire. It usually uses a fire break by just hitting the ground with it, and then after that you can use it as a pot scraper as well. If you're washing your pots and you don't have steel wool or a pot scraper, you can just take the leaves and scrape your pot with it. Then lastly, you use it for wiping your behind. Not sure you use the front or the back of it to wipe your behind after taking number 2, but anyway, let's talk about this plant. This one is called inki. We call this plant inki. Inki has tiny, like seeds or fruits that you can see over here. Once they've matured and you try to squash them, they ooze out an ink-like substance. Hence we call it inky. But I remember inky from when I was very young as a child. Not quite sure if that's it, and it to me just looks like inky, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. I remember it from childhood, but it looked like that. If I recall, or it looks very close to ink if it's not it. But I think it is. Anyway, let's continue walking. And as you can see, this house over here, I just want to show you, many people cannot afford to build stable homes like the ones that are used, you use concrete for making. So they usually build such houses, such homes. And then to prevent the home from being blown away by the wind, then they would put sometimes rocks or stones or bricks on the roof of it to ensure that it doesn't break, like it doesn't get blown by the wind. And this is what the house looks like. And it's usually called igali. Emagalini is a place where you'd find many of such homes. And in the area where I live in the Eastern Cape, we don't call them amagali, but the rest of the country calls them that. Us, we call it ikyotyombe. And over here we have blackjack, umhlabangulo. Blackjack is called umhlabangulo in the Xhosa language, and this is what it looks like. It's a flower before it puts out the blackjack that usually gets stuck to your clothing. Masiqhubekeke sihamba ke wethu. Andiyazi uba yintoni nale ntyatyambo, kodwa ixhaphakile. Kodwa andiwazi uba ngantoni lo mthi, kodwa uxhaphakile. Sengaba ngumhlabangulo nalo. Ndazi umhlabangulo uba ngulowa bendiwuqale ndawubamba. Andiqinisekanga le nto uba yintoni yona. Kodwa ke akho ngxaki. Masiqhubekeke sihamba sibone uba yintoni enye esiza kuyibhaqa kuba andiyazi. Let us keep walking and see what else we can find. I always make these videos for you guys in winter. I have no idea why I always do that. And then over here we have a wild berry tree. Wild berries amaqunube. Ngumthi wamaqunube ke lowa. We have wild berries. The wild berries are very common, like everywhere. They're very common and people just grab them, when they're in season. Just grab a wild berry, just put it in their mouth, eat it. They're very nice. I really like wild berries. Amaqunube ndiwathanda ngendlela engumangaliso bendiwathanda. Are they wild berries? Amaqunube? Yeah, I think so. And over here we have this plant. I have no idea what this plant is called. Do you perhaps know it? Do you know what this plant is called? If you do, please do share the name with me. Do share the name. Please let me know what it is, if you know what it is. But as you can see here, it looks like it's for ornamental purposes. Ornamental purposes, if you like a lot of greenery, because it doesn't even look like it has fruits. It just looks like lines for leaves. And then let's continue walking. And over here we have I always confuse a guava tree with an avocado tree, because to me they look very similar. But when you touch the leaves, the avocado tree has thicker leaves than a guava tree. And that's, to me, felt like an avocado, not a guava tree. But if it does not have any fruits and it's still young, I cannot really distinguish between the two. But once, it starts bringing forth fruit and I can clearly see the tree that it is fully developed, then I can be able to distinguish, oh, this is an avocado tree and oh, this is a guava tree. But for that, I couldn't really tell. But I would assume it's an avocado, not a guava tree. Do you see that one separate single flower over there? There's always one of those every now and then, just one single flower standing the test of time. Just a single one. Just a single flower. Masiqhubekeke sihamba wethu sibone uba yintoni enye kanye sizayibhaqa. Fune sibhaqile kaloku into sizakwazi ukuthetha ngayo. And then over here we're seeing ingqithane zebhokhwe. Ingqithane zebhokhwe. That's number 2 of a goat. Ingqithane. That's what we call it in Xhosa. And then let us keep walking. Intoni enye siza kuyibhaqa. Sehle siye ezantsi emlanjeni okanye siphelele apha kule activity siyenzayo namhlanje. Andiqinisekanga wethu masithini, kodwa ke ingathi seyamfutshane xa siphelela apha. Bendimile ndacinga uba ndehle okanye ndive ndiyiphelise apha. Andifuni ukuxuthelwa izinto zam kaloku ngondihambayo. Qonda masihambe ke kodwa, ndiqonda uba ngaba khona abantu bazoyixuta. Masehle sobona emlanjeni. Let's go down and see what else. Oh my god, I just want to sneeze so bad, but I don't want to stop the video and start over again with the voiceover, because sometimes when you start over, the pace that you're using as well as the sound of the voice changes. So I was trying to sneeze so bad, but I'm fine now. Don't worry, I'm fine. Let us keep walking. And see what else we can find. Yintoni siza kuyibhaqa? Ngathi kuqhetyiwe apha nakho kwazityalo zibhaqekayo. Ayibona le nto ndiyibonayo? Mandinibonise ke kodwa nani nibone le nto ndiyibonayo. Masehle siye ezantsi. Sibone uba yintoni enye siza kuyibhaqa. Kuba ndifune into yaphandle andithi. Phandle ke apha. Ndizele nina kule ndawo kuzondividiyela nibone le nto ndifuna uyibona. Let's keep walking and see what else we can find. But it looks like this side has been cleared. Doesn't look like it has a lot of trees on the left side. There aren't plants or anything, but let us keep walking, and then on the right side I see a lot of Banga, which people use for multiple purposes. And over here we have another plant which is considered invasive. I don't know what purpose this plant serves, but it is very common and very much invasive in the Eastern Cape. And here it is. This is called Kasha. Kasha. I have no idea what it is called in English, so I use closer names. We call it Kasha. Kasha is very common and it's very invasive, and this is what the plant actually looks like. What do you call it in your language? I don't know what purpose it serves, rather than, competing with other native plants which serve the purpose of being fed to livestock. I have no idea what this plant is used for. Kasha is what we call it in isiXhosa, emampondweni. Masiqhubekeke sihamba wethu sishona emlanjeni ke ngoku. Yintoni enye siza kuyibhaqa? Masijonge uba yintoni enye siza kuyibhaqa. This old car that's just sitting here. I think it stopped working, and then the owner was like, you know what, you can just sit in there. I'm not gonna come back for it. So it's just sitting there. And then after that, just have a couple of homes over there. And over here we have a house. And then let's go to the river to show you what rivers look like. And we're just walking to see what we can find. What exactly can we find over here? Masihambe wethu sibone uba yintoni kanye siza kuyibhaqa apha emlanjeni. Funeka sibhaqe into. Masehle ngononophelo singatyibiliki. Siphule izinqa. Hayi wethu, masehle. And we have officially arrived at the river. There were a couple of people doing their luggage at the river because it's quite strenuous to go collect water and go back home, collect water and go back home just to do your laundry. So people just usually collect their laundry to come to it here by the riverside. And there's the water. And I was trying my best not to film them, but they're over there doing their laundry, washing. And this looks awkward because they're wondering, what is this person doing over here? And they were looking at me like, girl, what are you doing? I'm like, don't worry, I'm just whispering on the internet for nothing. Just don't worry about me. I'm just that girl who just whispers on the internet, showing random things from Africa. And then I headed back up, and this is grass, as you can see. Grass, we call it inga. Grass, inga, kibinga. Cut the grass, kibinga. Cut the grass. And then the ground is called umhlaba. The ground, umhlaba, the soil actually, umhlaba. Umhlaba is the soil. And yeah, that's basically it. I think it only makes sense to end the video here because there's not really much to show you guys. And there's quite a lot of people here who are like, what is that person doing? What is she doing? Is she okay? What's going on? Anyway, and I'm busy talking to myself as I'm walking. I'm not sure if that's making things weirder or whatnot, because I just don't want to just walk around filming and whatnot. I'm just like talking to myself. I'm not sure if that's awkward or I should just keep quiet. And then stones are called amake. Amake. They just put random stones and concrete over here because when it's raining it gets very, very muddy and slippery, and people, when collecting water from the river, they fall. So to avoid that, so they just put those stones and random things over there. Amake stones. Amake stones. Okay, that is it for today's virtual tour. I hope you enjoyed this outdoors ASMR Xhosa video. Have a great day or night wherever you are in the world. And before I go, I would like to read you word of the day. And today's word of the day is going to be in the book of Psalms, chapter 23, verse 1. And it reads, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Ilizwi lethu lanamhlanje siza kulifumana kwincwadi yendumiso yama-23 kwisahluko. Ivesi yona eyokuqala fundeka ngolu hlobo: uYehova ngumalusi wam, andisweli lutho. Mansithembe ukuba loo mazwi aza komeleza, akukhuthaze, akugcine, akuthwale kuyo yonke le veki siza kuyiqala. Inkosi wethu ngokuhlala nam kolu hlelo lwanamhlanje. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. I hope that these words comfort you and carry you through the rest of the week. Have a great day or night wherever you are in the world. For now, let's just randomly follow this chicken and see where it goes. Because why not? You're trying to fall asleep, but you're too curious to see what you're going to see in the video. So, what we'll be seeing is a random chicken walking around with its friend, just gallivanting to see what it can find and eat. Ihamba wethu le nkukhu notshomi wayo. Inkukhu iyachoka ke, iyachoka inkukhu. Ziyajonga uba zizawutya ntoni. Kutheni ngathi zifuna ukutya ingca nje? Kutheni ngathi zifuna ukutya ingca? Zilambe kakhulu, zilambe lo hlobo uba zide zitya ingca, okanye zitya imikhasi or intoni esehlela engceni. Sendayiqonda zitya ntoni kanye kanye. Hayi, andazi mna. Qha zizipholele zona sanqa inkukhu. Sithi sawuqhubeka ke sihleli apha sikulinde ude ulale sanqa. Khawuvala amehlo ucimele ulale. Okay, pretty sure you've seen the chickens by now. They're not gonna do anything. It's not like they're gonna do the robot or the moonwalk or anything like that. So it's only fair for you to close your eyes now and go to sleep. Close your eyes and go to sleep because the video has officially ended. The chickens are even running away from you now. They're like, why aren't you sleeping? Why aren't you sleeping? Why? Why? But anyway, let's just see. Can you see that there's a lot of papers over here? It's because a lot of people, like in the villages, we don't have like solid waste management. So people usually dig holes and then burn their waste, or sometimes dig holes and then, bury it. But that's not very common. Usually people dig holes and then they burn it. But they burn it when it's a lot. So they take, things to that big hole. And then once the hole is full, they start burning. But before then, if there are winds, the winds come and then they blow the trash all over the place. And so you can see that there's a bit of trash everywhere, like outside, by the riverside, which is not quite sanitary. But yeah, because the municipality is usually in the big cities and towns and not in the villages. So I don't know what that does to the carbon footprint when burning the waste, as opposed to the emissions that would have been from the municipal, transport cars, and what happens to that waste after being collected by the municipality. Which one carries a higher carbon footprint?